Second, I'm very honored to introduce Mr. Michail Kaluzhskij. He is based in Berlin, but before he has been living in Siberia, Moscow, and Israel. And I read his CV, and it's quite impressive. But just to mention what he's maybe doing mostly is he's a freelance author of several non-fiction books and also writes articles in Russian, but also in English, so internationally, on culture, history, politics, and mass media. So please welcome Mr. Kaluzhskij.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for the. I have to express my gratitude to the organizers. Oh, I need to take this off. To organizers for inviting me to speak to this really important audience. Second, I have to confess in two major scenes. It's my only second experience of delivering a public talk in Zoom. First, second, I'm not really good in a visual presentation, so in advance I ask you for forgive me for possible flaws in my presentation. I will be talking mostly about the Russian media system at home. And in that regard, what Lena has just said, it's really important, because a couple of things I will be telling you will demonstrate several of her points. But as I will be talking about the system in general, there will be several important omissions. 20 or 25 minutes are not enough to tell you everything. So what I will not be talking about, I will not be talking a history of current state of Russian media. This important issue, but we need to put it aside given the time frame. Secondly, and that is actually is much more important, I will not be talking about Russian media legislation. That's a really hot issue in regard to mainly censorship and media business. Thirdly, I will not be talking about actual reporting about journalism. It's also, there are important and interesting current trends, but I need to put it aside. Let's talk about the general system, and now I will share screen. Well, the actual idea was to talk about the Russian media in regard to their relationship to Russian audience in Germany. And there is a specific date and a certain case which actually dragged German society's attention to the role of Russian media in Germany. It happened in January of 2016. A Russian-German girl named Lisa or Lisa F claimed to be raped by a group of immigrants from Middle East. This story was reported by one of the main Russian TV channels, Channel 1. This is an actual link to this report for those who are interested in. And it happened just after the New Year's Eve, where a series of sex crimes and sex violations had taken place in Cologne and other German cities. So the story immediately went viral and sparked anti-migrant protests in Germany. Actually, this photo has taken near the Merkel's office in Berlin. Then, quite soon, German police stated that Lisa's story was false. It was a clear example of what we now called fake news. But Russian authorities, namely Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, ignored this statement and proclaimed that the German authorities has concealed the actual events and failed to protect our Lisa. Our Lisa was this expression which actually ignited the outrage from German authorities. Lisa was a German citizen. And after that, then German Foreign Minister Frank-Walter Steinmeier called out Lavrov's claims political propaganda. So political propaganda it was. And since that very moment, German society or German state officials had understood how influential Russian media are among, and now we need to clarify among whom, because usually the expression Russian Germans are widely used. Frankly speaking, I'm not quite comfortable with this description, because Russian Germans, or those German nationals, or those people who live in Germany, not of them are ethnic Germans. There are many ethnic Russians. So I will not go into details, but as we are talking about the media audience, I would rather use something more descriptive as a group of German inhabitants who possibly may consume Russian media coverage or media coverage in Russian language. In the end of 2016, by Sentsov Foundation, an organization which is based in Bonn, together with the Ipsos media survey group, made a research about the media consumption, Russian media consumption in Russia. So, and you can see that the heavy consumers of Russian media have a significant trust in Russian media. There is a link to the whole research. It was published, if I'm not mistaken, in 3 languages, Russian, English, and German. So who are interested may have a more close look. Then the activity of Russian language media became even more tangible on the eve of German federal elections, Bundestag elections in 2017. So the red is negative coverage. Green is positive coverage. And you can see that, for example, Sputnik, the main tool of Russian propaganda, favorably covered mostly AfD, Alternative for Germany. If we take 3 main Russian language media are consumed in Germany, which is RT, as a YouTube channel, Sputnik RTVD, which is now Ost-West, they covered favorably a bit of Social Democrats, lefts, and AfD. All this research was made by German media researcher Susanna Spang, and there is a link to this research, which was later republished by stopfake.org. It's important to pay attention to the fact that the Russian media, specifically television, can be easily consumed in Germany. This is a screenshot from the Kartina.tv website, a provider of Russian television channels in Germany. Well, given aside these gender stereotypes, let's see how they advertise their oh, something in the wrong with my mouse. So you can see that they promote their package like watch sport events and competitions on Match TV, and follow news on Russia 1. And what is Russia 1? And now we'll proceed to this. Oh, I'm really sorry, but I have... What is Russian media systems in general? I can talk about the 5, well, one can speak about more, but in my opinion, there are 5 major components of Russian media system. First, the huge and increasing role of the states across all the media landscape, including advertising and media research. Sometimes just strong influence, sometimes in total control. Then monopolization of the media market. Well, there is no actual media market in Russia. It's more like market of loyalty. So a very high level of asset concentration. Then, which is also really important, it's a high level, very non-transparent structure of ownership. Then imitation of competitiveness, and the last but not least, the main Russian media, those who are consumed in Germany, they're Moscow-based, and the Russian media and even Russian journalism, it's mostly Moscow-centric world, which also is a significant factor. So, who are they? Let's first have a glance on the Russian TV. So there are audience, rating, and share. Number 1 is what is called измеряемое тематическое ТВ, measured theme TV. There are a variety of niche channels: gardening, health, sport, I don't know, fishing and hunting, and there is a growing segment in Russian television. Then grows Russia 1 channel first, and the first channel, which is St. Petersburg-based channel, but it also belongs to the one of the biggest, the monstrous media company, National Media Group, and actually all these 10 belong to state owners or to the two main media groups controlled by oligarchs. It's also interesting to say, to pay attention who does these measurements. There is a company named Mediascope, and the story of this media research service tells a lot about the Russian media landscape. Mediascope once used to be, it was called TNS Gallup Russia at the time, once used to be a joint venture between Finnish branch of Gallup and Russian private business. Then in 2016, Russian parliament came up with a new legislation which allowed to national media pollsters to be owned by foreign stakeholders only by 20%. And in September, in August of 2016, the British owner of the then British owner of this company sold 80% of its stakes to VCION, which is All Russian Center for Public Opinion. And VCION is fully controlled by the government. It was happened in August, and in September, the new company Mediascope. Well, I see that some of you making notes. Please don't. I will. I believe this presentation will be can be sent to all of you. So then Mediascope was recognized by the one and only trusted or certified media survey researcher by Russian government, together with the heads of leading TV channels. So all sides of the media sphere are controlled by the government. Let's look at the internet, where we will omit also for sake of time in print media and radio. So top 10 of Russian internet, also by research done by Mediascope. Google, Yandex, YouTube, VK.com, which is a Russian social network. Number 6 is very peculiar, Sberbank, which is a state-owned bank monster, the main one. Mail.ru, Odnoklassniki, and Avito, also Russian social networks and Russian media businesses. This is interesting. This is another research, but it's done on not on the basis of actual audience, but how the different media are quoted by other media. So the first column are newspapers, the second are magazines, the third television, and fourth internet media outlets. You can see a variety of names, but actually they are also owned, managed, and run by very few companies. The maybe magazines is give you exception, but if you look on the television, you can see what else. Russia 1, Russia 24, REN TV is a part of the National Media Group. We'll talk about this later. 360 telechannels owned by Moscow government. Zvezda is owned by Ministry of Defense, and so on and so forth. Only TV and Dozhd is an independent private enterprise here. Okay, let's. Let's talk about these media groups. First of all, it's All Russia State Television and Radio Broadcasting Company, VGTVK. It runs several companies. You can see the left column. I still don't know what is going on with my touchpad and mouse. Oh, sorry. So there are several TV channels which are part of All State Television and Radio Broadcasting Company. Then the same media holding owns 4 rather popular or very popular, better to say, broadcasting channels. Then the main propaganda tool, Россия сегодня, Russia Today. It operates Sputnik TV, Prime News Agency, RIA Novosti, which is the most popular information agency, and several others. Please pay specific attention to 2 media outlets which are called RIA Novosti Krym and Ukraina.ru. So the main propaganda war of Russian media is waged against Ukraine. So the Russia Today is operating these 2 channels. Russia Today shouldn't be confused with RT. RT once was Russia Today, but Russia Today is a state-owned media holding. RT, well, technically it's an NGO, but strangely enough, Margarita Simonyan is editor-in-chief of both, and RT is, although being a kind of independent business entity, is fully funded by Russian state. Now we move in the sphere of so-called private media holdings. Most of them are controlled by Russian oligarchs close to Kremlin. Yuri Kovalchuk, well-known Putin's crony, he started his business with the St. Petersburg bank, Russia Bank, owns, well, controls, there are plenty of owners, a national media group. Vladimir Potanin and Alexander Mamut together run a significant sector of Russian internet, which are Gazeta.ru, Lenta.ru, Live Internet, Live Journal, and Rambler. These are a huge chunk of Russian internet market. Alisher Usmanov also is instrumental in running internet. All assets of Mail.ru Media Group, Odnoklassniki, VK, Mail.ru, and ICQ chat is also owned by him. Then Grigory Berezkin, a very prominent oligarch, but less known publicly, controls via different business organizations, RBK Media Holding, Komsomolskaya Pravda, and Moscow Metro. Let's go into details. National Media Group. It owns Channel 1, REN TV, STS Media, which is the main entertainment hub of main entertainment TV programming, and two St. Petersburg based media, Пятый канал and 78. Also, well, as for the Channel 1, it's not fully owned by National Media Group. There are 4 owners. So National Media Group controls 29% of stake, but then other stakeholders, they do represent state, Federal Agency for State Property, TASS, which is Information Agency, and Ostankino Technical Center, well, actually the main national transmitter. Also, National Media Group controls a significant part of print media, but who owns National Media Group? So, Bank Russia, owned by Kovalyov and his friends. Surgutneftegas Oil Company. Surgutneftegas Oil Company is not particularly private business. Its structure of ownership is largely unknown. These are some persons who are close to Kremlin. Mr. Putin's second nephew, Mikhail Putin, is a vice president of this company. And by and large, it's state control private business. Also, Sagas Insurance Company, it's a subsidiary of Gazprom, and then Gazprom Media, media branch of Gazprom, also owns National Media Group. Wait a minute, may ask someone. Gazprom Media is a kind of competitor of National Media Group. Well, if there would be a competition, but there is no anti-monopoly law or anti-monopoly law law enforcement which can stop those acquisitions like that. When one state controlled media monster can own a share of in its like competitor to be, let's put it this way. Then Gazprom Media itself. It's huge. It's really huge. There are several TV channels. Mostly of them are entertainment. All the information TV resources which are connected to NTV, sport channels, internet, radio, so on and so forth, printed media included. Oh, does it look that I ran out of time?
It's okay. You can just finish.
Yeah, well,
presentation. Don't worry.
Well, stop me when you see I'm completely late. So the question is, who actually pays for that? What's going on with the advertising in Russia? Advertising incomes are dwindling. In 2009, the actual advertising market figures show decrease in all spheres but internet. We have plus 20% growth on internet, but then, well, newspaper advertising is decreasing every year by 8-10% in Russia, but even television and broadcasting are not benefiting from advertising market. So don't pay attention to the these figures for this year. It's a rough estimation. Don't pay attention to these amounts in rubles. Look at the right column percentage. So TV in general lost 9% of advertising incomes. Radio 37, 44%, and so on and so forth. So situation is really bad. So who pays? Taxpayers do pay. This is a chart of how Russian media are supported from state budget. And you see that the significant chunk of this money goes to all Russian broadcast and television company. There is a breakdown in billions of rubles. You can divide by 91 and see how much is in euros already. I didn't do it for you. Please look at the in the very middle. There is TV Novosti. This is RT. This propaganda private or NGO channel, which is handsomely paid by taxpayers. What will happen next? Just recently, it was a month ago, the Russian government proposed to increase funding of Russian media by 40%. According to this plan, the total sum of expenditures from federal budget. I'm not talking about regional budgets. It's another story which is far beyond our grasp today. So 1.13 billion euro will be spent for media by Russian Spain in 2021. And who will be the main subsidiaries? RT or Russian broadcasting company, Russia Today, Channel First, although it's not the in federal property, and so on and so forth. Well, these are fully dependent, who are like kind of independent by dependent. Yandex, which is the biggest Russian internet company. Until recently, Yandex Russia was fully owned by the Dutch company called Yandex NV, and owners of Dutch company are Russian nationals, founders of Yandex. But recently, the structure of ownership has changed, and now there is a strong state representation in the ownership and management of Yandex. Then there is European Media Group, which runs a private company connected to the metallurgical business in Urals, which are the biggest broadcasting operator in Russia. Hearst Shkulov Group, owned mostly by one individual, Viktor Shkulov, owns a huge amount of magazines. And also, it's interesting that there are two last names on this line, NGS and E1. It's interesting because these are biggest city news sites in respectively Novosibirsk and Yekaterinburg, which are third and fourth largest cities in Russia. Moskovsky Komsomolets is a standalone business. Forbes Russia, now owned by individual Russian businessman. There is independent media group which also owns many magazines, and Azure. How can I? Azure owns several media outlets in St. Petersburg. Lena, tell me please about my timing situation.
Well, it's not looking perfect, but it's still fine if Mrs. Irene, Irene, if you're fine with it. Polina Aronson also arrived just now. So, I mean, maybe how much time do you need?
Well, a couple of minutes.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Just a couple of minutes. Well, does it all mean that the all Russian media are controlled by state? No, there are, let's call it opposition mass media. But, well, this is another big issue. I think that it's more appropriate right now to talk about opposition agenda, which is unevenly spread by among big amount of various media outlets, and obviously there are even dependent media which allow themselves pieces of opposition agenda. Roughly speaking, you can divide those media who can convey opposition agenda messages are usual suspects like Novaya Gazeta, TV Rain, The New Times, Kavkazский Uzel, and so on and so forth. Well, the main sources of opposition information are, let's call it, digital natives. It's FBK Navalny YouTube channel, which has 4.2 million subscribers, and Yuri Dudz, which is not like generally oppositional, but it has a lot of oppositional agenda in its coverage. Yuri Dudz YouTube channel now has, if I'm not mistaken, something like 7.4 million subscribers. So, and all these, the most of these media outlets, including those who are based outside Russia, like Grani or Riddle or just newly formed V-Times, they live in internet. They are digital natives, so to speak. Well, and now please stop me.
No, I mean, it's very interesting. I think, first of all, thank you very much. So many information. Does anyone of our participants have any questions?
First, before, well, you can ask your questions, but as I promised Lena, and I'll do it, I have a short, which is one page of like additional reading about Russian media involvement in internal German or wider European message. I will send it to all of you by chat. Hold on, you can ask your questions while I'm doing this.
Yes, and I'm also going to send the PDF around tomorrow morning. Mm-hmm. So, are there any questions for Mr. Kaluzhskij? Thank you for sharing the PDF. No questions for now?
Well, it's a usual situation when people have more questions after the after the talk. Can I share my email with the participants?
Yes, that'd be wonderful. I mean, and Mrs. Lena Kusch says, thank you very much for your interest.
Thank you, Lena.
So it's much appreciated.
Mm-hmm. So as you guys could understand, I've said only a part of the information I was intended to share with you. Please don't hesitate to ask me questions via email. I'm very accurate in responding to other people's messages.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I'm going to send the PDF and also the email address around for those participants who couldn't be here this afternoon. So maybe there will be more questions from other participants too. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
From all of us.
Can I ask a question? Because
yes.
now I came up with something. Because I heard about Redfish, some media collective that started maybe a year ago with reports on the internet, Instagram and YouTube. And it's somehow also connected to Russia. I'm not sure about Ruptly or some Russian channels. Maybe you know more about that.
Well, look, this is, thank you for this question. It's really important, but it's also a huge issue. Well, first of all, I have to explain what is Ruptly. Ruptly is a Berlin-based sister organization of RT, which is a video production company. What these propaganda tools are doing right now, they are actively exploiting emerging audiences in social media. So companies, if it's a company and a group like Redfish, as well as St. Petersburg-based infamous Trolls Factory in Olgina, they are very active in social media. Well, in a mobile social media. That's I think so. It's a new development, and anyone who is inclined to follow and counteract Russian propaganda had to put an eye on activities of all those group and media. So in any case, Redfish is it might be technically independent, but in fact it's a product of RT or other Mrs. Simonian business ventures. If I answered your question.
One last sentence from me. Thank you very much joining us. It is very interesting to have a look behind the scenes of Russia media, because Russia media are one point of this project, what means propaganda in the war situations in Ukraine and in other countries, was everything, every time it was a big theme what Russia propaganda makes. So thank you very much to give us the background information about the structure of Russia media. So I think we will stay in touch also when we continue this project. Thank you very much, Michail.
You are more than welcome, and believe me, I have more to tell.
Thank you very much, also from my side and from all the participants.